2, 1. Stats versus facts. Ayy. Stats versus facts. Ayy. Know where we at on the stats versus facts. Yeah, my boy, hella black. He on the stats versus facts. And you might get smacked by the stats versus facts. Ayy. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Marsh. Welcome to Stats versus Facts, and I'm here with the crew. Yes, sir. What we do. I'm here with my man C-Mac. What's going on, C-Mac?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Got my man Greg up in here. What's going on, G-Reg?
What's up, man? Don't call it a comeback, but I'm here.
Absolutely. Welcome back. And also today, we got the cut man himself, Mr. Daniel Garcia.
What's up, Marsh? What's going on, guys?
Yes,
Feel like
sir.
I'm back for the first time, man. It's always a nice little treat being able to hang out with you guys.
Absolutely. Man, it's gonna be a great episode today, y'all. We have some basketball playoffs, Lakers, Nuggets, Celtics, Heat. Got some NFL matchups coming up. Some fights going on. I mean, man, it's UFC. We got a lot of stuff. The sports world is getting back to normal. Not to mention college football too. We will touch on some of that. But shoots, let's go ahead and hop into the NBA. That's got to be one of the biggest topics right now. So, Lakers and Nuggets played game 3 and game 4. Nuggets won game 3. Lakers won game 4. Right now, the Lakers are leading 3-1. LeBron James has looked good. Anthony Davis has looked spectacular. And right now, the Nuggets are in a familiar place of that 3-1 hole, as a lot of us have been saying. They have the Lakers right where they want them. I just kind of want to get your thoughts. C-Mac, I'm going to start with you. Give me your thoughts on where do you think this game will be, or the series will be over after game 5, or will the Nuggets be able to make a comeback? Like, what's going on?
Against LeBron and AD and even the likes of J.R. Smith, I'm going to have to say they're probably in this series after this next game. I don't think the Nuggets can do a comeback once again. 3-for-3 in 3-1 deficits. Betting odds are going to be ridiculous if the Nuggets do make a comeback. So
yeah, for real.
Here's the thing, though. It's always impossible until it's done, though, right? I mean, who would have thought that they would have came back against the Clippers? First of all, even in the first round, to do it. Hey, okay, it's been done. But then they did it against the Clippers. So these guys, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, none of y'all were around during this time. But when NC State won the NCAA tournament back at the Pit in Albuquerque, in the '80s, they were known as the Cardiac Cats, right? And this is like these guys are like the new generation of that. Down 3-1, they're right where they want to. They're not scared. Can they do it? That's a whole other story entirely. But they're not scared. They're not thinking that they're out of it or trying to push things by any means. They're just going to play their game. They're right where they feel comfortable. So I think that's gonna play a factor in the rest of the series as well.
Agree. Greg.
I don't know if you saw I saw it on Twitter that Anthony Davis might be questionable for the next game with his ankle. So I'm like, oh, cool.
I think he'll play. He'll play limited minutes.
The difference between the Lakers and what I saw on the Clippers and the Celtics, which I was very positive on the Clippers and Celtics until I saw that they can't put teams away. They can't close series. But the Lakers can close the series, and they will close the series, and they will move on to the finals.
Gotcha. So I could see the Nuggets possibly winning a game 5, but it would require them to make a tweak that I don't think that they are going to make. As crazy.
Don't say it.
Crazy as it may sound.
Okay, say it.
I'm gonna say it. The Denver Nuggets need to play Bol. They've been needing to play Bol.
Oh my God.
Bobo 2024, baby. Here we come.
Look, this is the only reason why I'm saying that, right? So the Lakers started Dwight Howard this last game. The man had 8 points and 8 boards in the first quarter. Didn't really see a lot of time after that, which I thought was dumb on Frank Vogel's part. But, for the Nuggets, you have Mason Plumlee coming into the game that when he is, the only time he's really scoring is if they're throwing him alley-oops. He's not really looking for his shot at all. If you see them when he's in the game, he's always looking for Murray or Jokic, the two main guys, or somebody else open to take a shot. So it's like, bro, you're a detriment on the offense when you need to be putting up points against the Laker team like this. On the other side of Millsap is capable of scoring, and he can shoot a little bit, but he hasn't been playing up to par. Plus, he's an undersized power forward, but he can pass a little bit, so I will give him that. But in order for the Nuggets to win the series, they need a guy who will go and not be afraid to shoot and produce, which I think that's Bol. Also, he's 7'3", so if you're going to try to drive to the rim, he's going to put his hands up and put his arms up. You're going to have a hard time getting over the man. So
do you think he's going to be able to play with Jokic on the floor too?
Yeah, I absolutely think he's going to be able to play with Jokic on the floor. And the reason why I say that is because right now you have Jokic guarding who? Anthony Davis. And I would probably stick with that. I wouldn't put Bol on Anthony Davis unless, they happen to get switched and you see that works. You could put Bol on, I'm not even going to say a Kuzma because Porter Jr. tends to do that. You could put Bol on somebody else. Morris is the other one. And he can just stick his arms out. If you're Mike Malone, tell him not to foul, get into the passing lanes, get us some steals. I would say that, and get us some boards, because check this out. Check this out too. Last season, Michael Porter Jr. had the opportunity to play, and they didn't play him. And I was saying, shoots, it'd be a lot easier if you play MPJ. Now he's finally getting the opportunity to play. He's aggressive. He's getting boards, number one, and he's taking crazy shots over, LeBron and, over whomever's guarding him. He's not afraid to shoot. Bol can be the same thing, but he's taller. Like, height in the playoffs matters. It really, really does. It really does. I know C-Mac is shaking his head. I'm telling you, if they played Bol, it would be a lot easier on them. You don't got to play him for a lot of minutes, but at least get them some of those minutes where Plumlee and Millsap are just ineffective, which I see that a lot, because sometimes the Nuggets, I don't know, they can't score. It look like they can't score. So
shout out Gary Harris.
Yeah, Gary Harris needs to step it up.
That's true. You make some good points, but Bol is just as slow or a little slower. No, I would say he's a little bit faster than Jokic. But I don't think the size is going to matter that much against the Lakers right now.
I do, because you're disrupting. Let me ask you this. Outside of, man, you're Plumlee, I guess, challenging at the rim, which he gets a lot of fouls. Who else is going to challenge a LeBron if he comes to the rim, Anthony Davis when he comes to the rim? Jokic is not athletic enough.
It's not. You're worried about LeBron James going to the rim. Who else is going to stop him? Who else in the league can stop him consistently?
I get that, but if you have somebody who can at least disrupt that and make them think, okay, it's going to be tougher for me to get to the rim like that, LeBron will start missing. I'm not going to say he's going to miss all the time, but it's going to take a toll. And not only is he getting to the rim, you're getting Rondo is coming to the rim. Rondo's getting to the rim, right? Rondo is a smaller guard. You getting smaller guards that are feeling, we can just go to the rim because there's not somebody who's going to shut down the paint. Grant is too small to do that. So, in my opinion, Bol switches that up. I'm going to stop. I'm going to let Greg go ahead and say.
Just a quick point. So what if the Lakers go small and they put LeBron at the 4 and Bol has to guard LeBron on the perimeter?
Right. So in that case, I wouldn't have Bol in the game. It's only going to be certain times when you have Dwight Howard in the game. You know, what is it? McGee in the game, or if LeBron is not on the floor, because LeBron's not on the floor all the time. Sometimes it's just AD, Morris, Caruso, Rondo, and Kuzma. I would put Bol on the floor. I absolutely would, to get you an opportunity to say, hey, let's get another guy a shot to try to disrupt, an AD if you can. Because Plumlee not being aggressive is not going to get it done. There's certain times the Nuggets literally get outscored, on a 10-0 run after going on a 12-0 run. It's because you don't have enough playmakers on the damn floor.
And that's what's wrong with Denver, though. They don't have that next piece.
Exactly, which I think develop Bol now. Try it now. They should have tried it in the first round, in my opinion, against the Jazz. That's when you should have tried.
I think there's a reason why he's not in the game, though. I mean, you got to think, developing, but he's just not ready. I mean, you have enough pieces to be able to play the series and to be competitive and win games. Why disrupt what you got going on by plugging in an unknown into that spot? You know, I mean, put him in the first round. They've experimented with putting him in during the bubble games,
right?
And it worked out pretty well. But once things get going, obviously there's a reason he's not on the floor. He's not ready. He's not good enough. He's going to get torched. You know, I'm a huge fan of Bol, and I think he's going to be really good.
Mm-hmm.
But you have, Plumlee's not my favorite. But you have him. You have Paul Millsap. You got other guys that you could put in there. I don't think it's gonna kind of disrupt the chemistry, and it's a big if he'd even be able to contribute when he's on the floor in whatever lineup that you put him in.
So I
don't think it's worth the risk.
So I would agree with you up to the point of Michael Porter Jr. was a risk. A lot of people didn't think he would progress the way he has, and look at what he's doing. So I'm saying if you have one guy that was particularly a project working out for you, try another guy who's pretty much can do almost the same thing as Porter Jr.
But that was over some years, though. That was over some years.
But Porter Jr. really started getting time this year where he was still coming off the bench. It's not saying Bol's starting. He's got to come off the bench. And even with that, Porter Jr. is still not the greatest defender. But regardless, you put Bol in these bubble games and some of the tougher games too, because some of your guys are out. I'm saying put him in. Look, they brought Harris back. Harris played in about 8-9 months after an injury. You put him in game 6. That's a risk, even though he's a good player.
Yeah, but he's proven.
You don't know what his conditioning is going to be.
He's proven. We already know what he could bring. Porter Jr., we already know what he was capable of, what he was going to bring. Bol is unproven as unproven gets.
My thing, I hear you. When you have height like that, with agility like that, you try it out. That's all I'm saying. If he was more of like a Taco Fall or a Boban Marjanovic, fine. I understand that because they're slower. It's not like they're going to have handles, be able to knock down the three consistently like that. Bol can do that. He was doing it, bro. A guy that can come down and do straight pull-up three-pointers with confidence. I don't care if it was just bubble games. It's an NBA game. You are different. You have some talent there. Use it if you're a team. That's all I'm gonna say. But moving on from that, I want to ask you, Daniel, before we get into that Eastern Conference matchup, as a Clippers fan, as you are, talk to me. How'd you feel after those Nuggets beat the Clippers, man?
Can I plead the fifth? I've been talking to a therapist lately, and they say that it's just too early for me to talk about this. I might break down a little bit. So bear with me here, guys. This is really deep in my soul, and I don't know for all the viewers out there if y'all ready to hear this, but
oh yeah, we're ready.
Who's
better than LeBron?
Oh, see what you got to interrupt me with a question like that. Damn, who's better than LeBron? You know what, man? This year is going to have an asterisk on it, anyways.
Nah.
Clippers cop out.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are making it really hard for me to tell the truth here. You know what? Let's see what happens. 3-1 down. When the Lakers give up that lead. But you know what? I was hurt, man, because this is truly the what it feels like to be. I'm a Clippers and a Bengals fan. This is what my whole fandom has been about these past 10 years.
That's tough.
Here's what I think needs to happen. Get rid of Doc. Get rid of Trez in the offseason. It seems like a lot of the negative press since that series. Trez has been kind of leaking a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think this affects Kawhi's legacy or even Paul George's legacy as much as people are talking about. People are kind of rushing to that judgment here. And, it's 1 year. Yes, were they title favorites this year? Absolutely. They were within the 1 to 3 teams that could win the title. Look what happened in Milwaukee. Why are people not really talking about Milwaukee as much as the same way they're talking about the Clippers?
Can I hold on? I gotta catch you on this one.
Okay.
The reason why we're getting on Kawhi Leonard is not because they were just title favorites. It came so much to where Kawhi made a commercial with a crown on his keychain saying, "I am the king of LA now."
Hold on. They didn't play each other.
Has LA won the title yet?
Yeah.
I get you. We're still in the playoffs, but they're
not
up.
3, not 4, not 5. People do this all the time. You know what I mean?
Fight, Daniel. Fight.
That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. They lost, but I don't think that this is as big a deal as people are saying. If he wins the title next year, people forget about it. Look what happened when LeBron finally won the title in Miami. The sports world moves by so fast, people are willing to forget it. And here's the thing: is Kawhi's done it before. He's
When he didn't
also
have
been
the pressure
MVP in the finals.
Pressure was not on Kawhi like it was. So look, they may win the title next. There's a possibility they could win a title next year. Sure, I'll say that. Sure, absolutely. Right now, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear Kawhi is up better than LeBron, this, that, and the other. I never want to hear that from anybody else. I just don't. Now, his legacy has taken a hit right now. Now, he could, if he wins another title, sure, I'll say that. He could come back, but I never want to hear him in that same type of category as LeBron James, because he can't.
How many titles has LeBron played in and lost?
How many good?
And
okay.
It didn't affect his legacy.
How many good teams has LeBron had compared to this Clippers team?
He's had quite a few. He's had his players.
He's had his. Okay.
GM
LeBron,
LeBron,
like he's played with scrubs his entire career. The only year he played with scrubs was the year that they lost to the Spurs. He literally that was
all those years in Cleveland. He was playing with bad teams. When he went to Miami, he had a Bosch and a Dwayne Wade that was kind of
Ray Allen.
They did acquire Ray Allen. That's true.
And you had a Bosch and Dwayne Wade in their prime.
Dwayne Wade was on his way down. They were talking about
he would still give you a bucket. He would still give you a bucket. Don't say that. Don't say that.
Dwayne Wade was kind of on his way.
You hear that, Wade County?
He was not on his way down the year that he came over there.
No, not the year that LeBron came. I'm not saying that. I'm not. I've always said that LeBron.
But they lost that year that he came, right?
Correct. And so I hold that against LeBron. But they won 2 years in a row, even though Ray Allen did save him. But LeBron played spectacularly through that whole time. Number two, when he was in Cleveland, it literally came down to the first year. They probably would have won if Kyrie doesn't get hurt and if Kevin Love doesn't get hurt, right? But at that same time, after that, the Warriors were just a juggernaut, and really they should have lost in 2016, so it kind of came back into a balance. But LeBron played his ass off. Then after that, he dragged those Cleveland teams to the finals. You can't deny that LeBron has played magnificently. Yeah. He's played magnificently, better than what Kawhi has, because Kawhi sits out too many damn games to where now it's just like, all right, bro. Like, to me, because he didn't sit all games against the Nuggets, he kind of got exposed. That's all I'm saying. He's taking a hit. Now, also to the PG point, Paul George, I like Paul George. Paul George is, he's a good player, but he's kind of slipping out of that. Is he a MVP caliber player?
He's out.
He's not an MVP caliber player. I'll be one of the first to say that.
Or even a superstar.
Is he an all-star? Sure. Is he one of the top 25 players in the league? Sure. I think he still can be. I don't think he's an MVP caliber player though.
Okay, let me say he's not a superstar anymore. I don't know if I can put him as a superstar.
He's not a super duper star. I think he's still a he's still a star.
Star, fine. Superstar, no. Mm-mm. So, and then with that team that you had with the Clippers, they never really got it together. Now that's also coaching. I agree. Doc has to go. Lou Williams has to go.
I don't think Lou Williams has to go.
The reason why I'm saying those three guys got to go, you can get something back for Lou Williams and Harrell. You have a Reggie Jackson who's younger than Lou Williams that can take over that point guard position, and also with the scoring. Lou Williams, to me, has hit I think he's hit his peak to wherever he has gotten, the highest that he's gotten. Reggie Jackson could still do some things that could bring that team to another level. So that's all I'm going to say with the Clippers. We will see what happens. But got to take a quick break, guys. When we come back, we will discuss the Celtics and the Heat series. They're playing right now, and we'll get you an update from that. It's halftime, 58-51 Heat right now. So we'll be right back after these messages. And we are back. Yes, sir. Back with the crew. Got the cut man himself, Daniel Garcia, with us, man. And since we got him here, let's go ahead and talk about some UFC. Get into that UFC action.
You don't got to tell me twice, Marshall. That's what I'm talking about. I love me some bloody,
Absolutely.
some fights, some action.
Absolutely.
And just a matter of fact, we got a pretty big event coming up this weekend.
Right, but before we get into that, recap for me the fights that just went on this past weekend or last weekend, because I heard we had upcoming superstar. I missed the.
Oh yes, we had a fantastic
card
last weekend on the 19th. It was headlined by Kobe Covington versus Tyron Woodley.
Right.
But the whole entire card was just nonstop action. There was some really good fights. The matchmaker did a really good job in setting this up. Probably not a lot of fighters that people would have heard of outside of Donald Cerrone. You got Kobe Covington, Tyron Woodley. Just real quick before I kind of introduce this rising star that y'all need to check out. In the main event, Kobe Covington defeated Tyron Woodley. It was really an interesting finish. Tyron started grabbing his ribs. He had Covington on top of him, rained down blows. Pretty much what happened the entire fight. It was the fifth round, and Tyron Woodley all of a sudden yelled out, grabbed his ribs. They called the fight. Turns out he had, I believe it was a punctured lung. Shout out to Tyrod Taylor.
Oof.
Oh my lord,
the doctor.
But that's basically kind of what happened there. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but I know he actually made the rounds on a lot of things. Is Kobe Covington's post fight kind of comments, said a lot of derogatory things, and that's led to a broader conversation in the UFC. Dana White brought it up today. I want to get you guys' opinion on this, and this is coming from all sports. Dana White basically said, "Hey, it's not my job to police my fighters. They can say what they want. I'm not going to reprimand them or tell them what they can and cannot say." Now, I don't know if you guys saw his comments or not. Just to
Covington's comment, correct?
He's a very big Donald Trump fan.
He's a staunch Donald Trump supporter, yeah.
He has said a lot of derogatory things. Probably the worst one to me was post-fight when he said Kamaru Usman, who he has lost to, he got a broken jaw against him. Usman broke his jaw in their last fight together earlier this year. He basically said, go send some smoke signals or something like that. That's what he said. He said, go do what you do or send some smoke signals. He also said some other derogatory things towards some of the other African-American
called LeBron James a coward.
call LeBron James a coward, amongst other things. What do you guys think of Kobe Covington's comments and in the broader spectrum of sports, in terms of what you can and cannot say?
C-Mac?
I'm looking at these comments that he's saying, as far as like spineless coward. So like first of all, this is difficult because I'm very empathetic in all situations, so I try to break down the minds of what people are saying in every comment they make, and I try to figure out why they made those comments regardless of where they're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to understand how the background plays into that. Mm-hmm. So I guess in a way what he's making is because he's playing into a character, and this is what I've heard from other people. Mm-hmm. He's playing a character, and this character has become so big that he has to go farther into this character, and that's stereotypically what UFC fighters are doing nowadays. Like Sean O'Malley, it's one of my fun fighters to watch. He has
love me some Sugar Sean.
He's got the antics, he's got the hair. They're trying
to a respectable guy at the end of the day too.
Yes, definitely. But the stage that he's on isn't as big as Covington has been on, and that's due to the antics that he's been doing, and he's even got the attention of the president, right? So his character is basically what WWE fighters have, and he's bringing that into UFC. It's a little more physical, right? So he's playing into the character basically, bottom line. You can buy into it, you can look at it, you can go into it deeper. But yeah, he's got himself into trouble, and he's gonna turn out like what's the other fighter? I can't think of his name. I'm blanking out right now.
Conor McGregor?
Conor McGregor is getting into some real deep water because of the character he's built up, and he's trying to continue that character even though he's not even fighting anymore. So
well,
okay.
If you say he's not fighting anymore, like we put that here.
Yeah, well,
we plan to bring him up.
Right. Greg.
What about? I don't really pay attention to clowns when they talk like that. Like I
like that.
It's an era where people say things to get attention and stuff like that. To counter that, you just don't give them any attention. That's what they want. Right. People say all this. It's just you have to. Your words carry responsibility, and you're going to get roasted in public opinion. You're going to be tested by the people that say, especially in the MMA world. So you're going to have your words have repercussions, and
his repercussion against Kamaru Usman was a broken jaw. So I think that's poetic justice right there in and of itself. You want to talk? I'm gonna shut your mouth one way or another.
Absolutely. And he tried calling out Jorge Masvidal as well. He would lose that fight too. So in the case of Dana White's comments, the UFC itself gets away with a little bit more, especially when it comes down to comments and as far as like you said, C-Mac, character it's a character that they're trying to build up, right? In no way do I think that Covington saying what he said is right. I think he was wrong for doing that. But at the end of the day, it's Dana White's company. He can do what he wants with that company, go in the direction that he wants to, as far as not policing who says what, because at the end of the day, they do get away with saying a lot more. They're not as censored. They're not censored.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah, exactly. It's pay-per-view. It's not like the NBA, not like the NFL, where they're nationally televised games and whatnot. And NBA, NFL players are also looked up to more as being role models. You don't ever look up seeing an MMA UFC fighter being a role model. Their job is to do what? Knock the other guy's head off, or try to get him to submission. So in the case of Dana White, fine, you can say that, if you're not going to police your guys, okay. It's a little insensitive to me, but if that's the way you're going to feel, okay. Now, as far as Covington goes, he's going to get himself into a lot of trouble. It may not be necessarily on the side of you're going to have people talking back, or clapping back, this, that, and the other. But he's disrespected Usman. Usman beat him before. He probably will beat him again. So that will be a repercussion of that. And the fact that you called out Masvidal as well. Masvidal is not.
Oh, they were former teammates. He's been calling him out for a long time. They've trained together for years and years. They've at ATT. Masvidal's been wanting to get his hands on Colby Covington for a long time. So there's that bad blood runs deep.
Right. So that'll definitely happen.
But I don't think he's going to get in trouble per se, because when we talk about trouble or he's not breaking any kind of rule in terms of what Dana White said. Also, in terms of public discourse, look who he has calling him after his win. The president, that was a well talked about thing, and how the president called him, and I saw that conversation. He's not going to get in trouble in any grander sense of punished in any way. He's only going to get punished by the fighters that he fought. And
that's what I was trying to say.
He's still going to get his title shots. He's still good. He still has a chance to beat Usman and Masvidal. They're just going to come at it with a little bit more of a personal vendetta against him, and a little bit more feelings towards that. But he's going to get punched in the face anyways.
Yep, so he's going to lose. So
I hope so. But this whole act stick that Colby Covington is going on, and he's already admitted it's a stick. Yes, it's mixed in with some of his true feelings and his personal life. But when he comes out with two scantily clad females to fight, or he's doing a video on Instagram or something about that, he's trying to play a character, and he doesn't do it nearly as well as a person like Conor McGregor, who does mix in his own personal flair to it. Or guys like, even when you look at Muhammad Ali, on why he is so beloved, is because that's just who he was. He said some very outlandish things. He was such a character, but that was truly what he believed in and who he was. Colby Covington, you just see right through that. It's completely fake, and he's just doing it just to try to be this person, and it's falling flat on his face. And I think he's kind of doubled down on that to really try to get the views. But love it or hate it, people tune in because they want to see him either
win or lose,
get beat up.
Yep, absolutely. So also, not to spend all the time on Colby Covington, but you had mentioned to me, when we talked the other day, there's another young superstar that you're now even more high on, or up and coming fighter that you're even more high on than Sugar Sean.
Yeah, so Sugar Shane's my boy. We've talked about him several times on this podcast before. We got another guy that he made his debut in July 15th, and he fought basically 10 days apart. He's right now 3-0 in the UFC. His name is, and I'm going to butcher the first name, is Khamzat Chimaev. He has 3 victories in the UFC, and his 3 combined opponents have only landed 2 punches on him. So he currently has more victories in the UFC than strikes that his opponents have landed against him. This is how dominant he has been. So he beat John Phillips and Riz McKee back in July. Had the spotlight on him. Comes up to this fight. He's finally fighting a top
respectable fighter
opponent in Gerald Meerschaert, who's been around. He's fought a lot of fights. They're expected to give him some kind of test, right? Well, what does he do? He comes out, first punch he throws, knocks him out. Walk off knockout. He just one blow and it's done. This guy is for real. He's supposedly fighting Damian Maia, who is a legend in his own right, for his next fight. Dana White already announced that even before the Meerschaert fight. But check out this guy. He is a rising star, if not already a star. We just have not seen him tested, so we don't quite know everything about him. But
and what division is he in, Danny?
For real. He kind of actually misses his time. He's a natural welterweight, but this last fight, I believe he fought it at 185, so he can move up, move down. But this last fight was a 185-pound fight, so he's fighting Damian Maia at welterweight, 170. So, but watch for him to kind of move up, move down in between, depending on what he needs to do. So
For the betting odds, would you say it's his what is his strengths? Is it his ground game? Is it his
well, and that's the thing, is everything. When we talk about the first two fights, he took these guys down and he pummeled them. Nobody has really seen his stand up. That's the thing, is either you're really, really good at the ground game, a la Colby Covington, and the stand up is where you kind of get beat. This guy, everybody was looking forward to that. Hey, this maybe they'll keep it standing. Well, he knocked the guy out in one punch. So he has power, but he also has a phenomenal ground game. Really good at wrestling, really good at control and jiu-jitsu as well. Who he submitted, that's how he submitted John Phillips, was with the Bravo choke, rarely seen in the UFC. But so the dude has hands, and he can control you on the ground. So that is the true marker of someone who you want to look out for.
Yeah.
So remember the name Chimaev, man. These Russians, these guys are taking over the UFC.
Oh,
of
yeah.
course, starting with Khabib. You got Magomed Shapirov as well. A lot of other names that I can't pronounce, but these guys are killers, man. These guys are truly coming out and just making their mark in MMA and the UFC in total.
Absolutely. So, moving now to the fight going on this weekend between Israel Adesanya, or I should say Adesanya.
Adesanya,
I always butcher his name. Adesanya and Costa.
Paulo Costa.
Yeah. So Israel Adesanya versus Paulo Costa. This is the main event for the middleweight championship.
Yes, sir. So this has been in the making for a good little while. Paulo Costa was the number one contender. He was supposed to fight before Adesanya fought Yoel Romero back in March. He beat Yoel Romero in August of 2019 during the Cormier Stipe Miocic card. This is gonna be a brawl, ladies and gentlemen. This is not gonna be like Adesanya's last fight.
No.
Which it was kind of a snooze fest against Yoel Romero, which that has a tendency to happen. Paulo Costa is the real deal, both on the ground and on his feet. But I got Adesanya by a third round TKO is my pick. I think he is just too good on the feet. He wants to put on a showing after his last fight, and he's going. I think he's going to pull through on this one.
So for myself, I'm going with Adesanya as well. He's a little bit smarter of a fighter, I'll say, because Costa, to me, he takes a little bit too much risk sometimes at a certain point. So
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. Even though, if y'all did not see the video, Costa came out with his black belt. And Adesanya, sitting there as they're, going to do the weigh-in, and then Costa was like, "Here, I got your belt," pulls out a white belt and throws it at Adesanya. So I was like, okay, yeah, there's definitely some bad blood there. But I do have Adesanya. That one may go 4 TKO. I don't think that one's gonna go 3.
Yeah, I think somebody's gonna end up knocked out in this fight.
Yeah,
someone's gonna end up on canvas.
If it goes the distance, I would be shocked, but I'd say 4.
That's
around
the
the
highlight of this card.
2-minute mark. Sorry, around the 2-minute mark.
All right.
2-minute mark of the fourth round.
Costa has also never been beaten, so he is an undefeated fighter.
What was that, Greg?
I said clip this. Prediction. You never know.
Yeah, don't blink, man. Don't blink, basically. And then we also got Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz for the vacant light heavyweight title.
That John Jones left.
John Jones left. There has not been a champion in the light heavyweight division outside of John Jones or Daniel Cormier in a long time. So this is going to signify the new guard coming up and taking over this division. I don't know, man. I'm not super excited about it just because of the names on there, but I'm a huge Dominic Reyes fan. I think he beat John Jones last time they fought.
I agree.
So he is the rightful heir. But other than that, Blachowicz, he doesn't interest me very much, and a lot of the other guys in that division, they need some new blood, they need some new talent, they need guys that you actually think, just like John Jones and Cormier, guys that you believe that can be champion are good enough. And I think Dominic Reyes is the only one really right there now who you can say has that championship pedigree.
Absolutely.
What fight should we look forward to tomorrow?
Apart from the two that
Apart
we
from
just
those,
said,
the main and co.
Mm-hmm.
apart from the two that we just said, don't sleep on the Hakeem Dawodu and I'm gonna butcher this one too, Zubair Tukhugov.
Hakeem Dawodu, and Zubaira Tukhugov.
Fantastic. He's a fantastic
Excuse me?
Muay Thai fighter.
He said, "Excuse me." Go ahead.
Dawodu, if you haven't had a chance to see this guy fight before, he's a fantastic Muay Thai fighter,
Yes.
and he's gonna bring it. So he is undefeated currently right now in MMA, and so he
Overall
he's
record
gonna look to
11-1
make
and
his
1.
mark. And Tukhugov is a guy, just like when the Russians that we were talking about earlier. He's part of that crew out in Chechnya is where he's from. Who,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot make these guys like you can't, how do I say it, they're never going to feel like they can't win this fight, right? They're just stone faced. They're going to come in, no emotions. They're going to come in and fight you, win or lose. So
they're built different.
Yeah, so that would be the other fight that I would say really keep an eye on. I believe that is the first fight of the main card.
Main card, yes, it is. Yes, sir. Well, as always, Mr. Daniel Garcia and I will be having a post-fight analysis. So check that out when it comes out. We're gonna let Mr. Daniel Garcia go. We appreciate having you on the show, man.
Hey, of course, man. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys for letting me come on and ramble on about some fights and some things that I really love to do. Before I go, though, I do got to give a shout out to this. This may or may not happen, but this did just come out in the pipe today.
Mhm.
Somebody had mentioned that
Conor McGregor
was no longer a fighter. Well, apparently he is in contract talks right now to fight. Drum roll, please. Manny Pacquiao, yes, the 55-year-old.
Crossing back over.
41-year-old.
55.
Champion. That's all I can say about this fight, man. Is he's way past his prime, but he is still going to destroy Conor McGregor if it happens. The betting odds have come out. The early betting odds for that fight. Does anybody? I know, Greg, you an odds guy, right?
Oh, I'm big. I'm writing all this down. I'm gonna call my guy after this. I'm gonna light this all up. So keep going.
All right. So Pac-Man is early betting
Clippers.
odds right now. Pac-Man is at minus 1,200, and Conor McGregor is at plus 700.
Okay.
What do you think? Early thoughts on that?
I'm gonna see where else I'm gonna shop around, see what else is out there.
Is that too high? Do you think they put it a little bit too high on Pac-Man at minus 1,200 for anybody to even think about putting much action on him?
It seems like it, right?
I mean, you have to put a lot of money down in order to win anything on that. Conor McGregor plus 700. It's obvious they're trying to bring that down a little bit so that they're going to get some action on that.
That Vegas though, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Marshall, what do you think about Conor McGregor coming back for another spectacle fight, man?
He's trying to cross over again. He's gone out to the intention to fool somebody, but he's going to end up getting beat. My Conor McGregor impression. In all seriousness, though.
Clip that, Chris.
I got it.
Underdog, put that on a repeat.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt. I think that Pacquiao will beat McGregor somewhere along the same lines that Mayweather did. Pacquiao has a little bit more power than Mayweather. McGregor's he's gonna lose unless somehow he comes out and maybe shocks us all. I don't see that happening.
You got to remember what he did in his last fight, man. He fought that 82-year-old guy in the pub unofficially, and look what happened. He couldn't even knock him out, man. He's got pillows for fists. Pacquiao in 3.
Quick question. Do you want to see Pacquiao come back or Pac-Man Jones?
Pacquiao.
Okay.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite Pac-Man of all time. I mean, Adam Pac-Man Jones. I'm a Bengals fan. He did play for the Bengals for a little while, but come on, man. Pac-Man Jones.
All right.
We're not in the
Just throwing
90s
it back.
anymore.
Just trying to see what your favorite Pac-Man is.
I like it. But Manny Pacquiao is my dude. That guy's one of the best fighters of all time, and I hope he gets paid for this. Conor McGregor, I could give a damn about.
Cut the check.
Absolutely.
Cut that check.
Well, Daniel, again, we thank you so much for being on the show, my man. As always, again, like I said, check out our post-fight analysis coming on after the fight. But right now, we're gonna take a quick break, so we will be right back.
All right, take it easy, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies, man.
You guys.
Appreciate it.
2, 1, and we are back. Yes, sir. Still got Greg and C-Mac with me. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Having a great show. Enjoying life on this Friday night. This is how we do it. It's Friday night. Okay. So, right now, get ready to jump into the quick take.
Quick take.
Quick takes.
Absolutely. So, we got a couple quick takes here for you today. Let me set that beautiful clock to 1 minute. C-Mac, go ahead.
All right. First quick take we have: would the finals be illegitimate if the Lakers do not get there? And that is for Greg.
Go.
I'm glad you asked me. Absolutely. Throw the finals away if the Lakers aren't there. This is ridiculous. They need to be there. This will be an asterisk. What do we have? We're having Denver versus the Heat. And we're going to call this legitimate? If the Lakers aren't there, people are going to definitely boycott the finals. It's over. We'll stop it at the Eastern Conference Western Conference Finals, and we'll just throw 2020 away. That's it. It's over.
So I would actually say that it is a legit finals. Why? Everybody's kind of in the same boat. You're all in the bubble. Everybody's playing. I understand there's some guys that feel like, okay, well, I understand we have everything else going on with the social injustices, being in the bubble by yourself, not be able to go home. I get it, but everybody's kind of in the same boat. Plus, if you're LeBron James, you have the biggest suite. You know what I mean? So I think it's illegitimate.
Here's LeBron calling and say it's over.
Absolutely.
You heard me about my fouls. Now hear me about it's over if I don't make it. Just turn the lights off, out of the bubble. We're good.
Hey, the Nuggets need to call about them fouls on Jamal Murray. All right, C-Mac, go ahead and read the next one.
Next quick take: is Rondo the best playmaker LeBron James has ever played with? Marshall.
Go. So I think that he is. The way that he's able to command the floor, pass the ball, how scrappy he is on defense. I mean, Rondo is just a smarter player. No knock against Kyrie Irving, but Kyrie Irving was a scorer. Who else other than that could really pass the ball like LeBron James that he had on his team? I don't really see anybody. Chalmers, and not really. So for me,
Luke Walton.
Oh my goodness. So for me, I say that Rondo, even though he's not the best scorer, but his jump shot is getting there. Playoff Rondo is real, and that takes that pressure off of LeBron James, where now he can just focus more on the offense. Or if he's off the floor, you still have somebody to control the game. So I say yes.
It's the first time LeBron's ever played with a true point guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're always like shooters, like Boobie or Larry Hughes or Ricky Davis, like a scorer type.
Yeah. So yeah, I absolutely agree. And that's it for the quick takes. We just had a couple of them today. So
Quick takes.
Quick takes. But we want to go into some NFL. We gotta go into the NFL, man. All right. So first off, some news from week 2. Tyrod Taylor was supposed to start that game, ended up not, because we found out his lung was punctured by the team doctor who's giving him a pain-killing injection. And now the NFL is looking to investigate into that situation. Like, my mind is kind of like, what the hell? Like, I haven't really heard about somebody's lung being punctured through an injection. Like, what the hell is this doctor trying to do to this man? Like, for real. Like, give me your thoughts on that, because I would cause an investigation too. That's foul.
Apparently, the injections, they're uncommon, but they do happen, and they're dangerous because the doctor doesn't see what he's going into. But it doesn't happen often. And I was like, but still, I mean, can you imagine just like, okay, well, just give me a little shot for because he had cracked his ribs.
Yeah.
In the game before, and he was like, okay, just give me a shot. I'll be good for the game. And then all of a sudden, punctured. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So let's look at this analogy in terms of the NFL.
Okay.
This doctor is paid to be able to do this task, right?
Right.
And he wasn't able to do this task. Much like the kickers in the NFL are paid to kick the ball through the goal and they still miss. It happens.
Yeah, it does happen.
It happens.
Kicker slander. Kicker slander.
I mean, you know, but like that though, that was just, I don't know, man. Something just,
I just don't want your doctor to say oopsies. That's all you're like.
Right.
Like,
and I get
my bad.
I get where you're coming with, C-Mac, but something just feels just a little foul there. We'll see what the investigation comes of. I don't want to, you know.
So do you have any thoughts on like if it's cheating, or you just think it's foul because there's a possibility that he purposely hit his lung, maybe?
Right, and I don't think it's cheating. I'm not gonna say it was purposeful, but it's almost like you said, it's uncommon. So I just don't know. Did the doctor have a vendetta, which he probably didn't? But something just seems a little off with that, man. It really does. It just seems a little off with it. So
Herbert goes off. What do you do now?
And Herbert did go off. He played really, really well. And but they have said that Taylor will still remain the starter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, Herbert went off. Man, Tyrod Taylor's still a decent quarterback. Don't get me wrong, and Herbert's still a starter, and they didn't win that game. So I would give Tyrod his place back, but we'll have to see moving forward. You know, Herbert will probably get to start this Sunday, so we'll see how he looks, because it could just be a first game, you know, luck of the play.
Yeah, they didn't game plan for him. They didn't know anything about him.
Right.
He just goes out there and just throws it around.
Right. And Tyler Taylor, to me, he's not supposed to be a long-term QB for the Chargers, and he's bounced around, unfortunately, from team to team. But I don't think they want to start Herbert just yet, because I don't think they believe that he's ready. But he will have his opportunity later on, but I don't think he's ready right now. So we'll see. We'll see how he performs upon this next game. But we do have some pretty key matchups in Week 3. First off, starting off with the Dallas Cowboys. Come on,
How about them? How about them boys?
We them boys.
How about them Cowboys?
Shout out Greg the Leg.
They're going up against a legitimate team in the Seattle Seahawks. More legitimate than the Rams, in my opinion. The Cowboys are probably going to get smoked.
Goat Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Y'all, you realize Russell Wilson has never gotten an MVP vote before? Not one. And he's literally has, especially last year, the way he was playing, should at least get a MVP vote, you know?
I don't want to be too disrespectful to him. I do one day think he might be able to win an MVP and be considered one of the greatest QBs ever. But right now, there's a certain height to get on that ride, and he doesn't fit the requirement.
I think right now, yeah, he does. Because
I think he's the greatest to me in the league right now.
You think he's the greatest QB in the league?
Yeah, I take over Mahomes.
Right now or ever?
No, not right now.
Right now, okay.
It's an argument.
Crazy.
For this season, right now, I can agree with you. There's an argument that can be made. It would go between him Jackson's not a good enough passer yet, but he's gonna kind of be there. And then Mahomes, to me, he's kind of I don't know.
It's too early. It's too early. It's too early.
It is early, but he's not putting up those Patrick Mahomes numbers. Like ever since the Super Bowl, it's just kind of like, and he had a good, and it's not like he didn't have a great game last game. He had 2 touchdowns, 307 yards. That's still a pretty good game, but this is not what we're used to. I'm used to seeing about 4 touchdowns, 325, 330, something along those lines. It's just not. I don't know. I don't know what it is, and that's not to say he's not a good quarterback. He's, right now Russell Wilson should be considered the favorite unless something drastic happens where he starts turning the ball over like crazy. Can't ever count out Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been playing great as well. Cam Newton has been playing well. There's an argument if the Patriots would have won that game on Sunday, Cam might have taken over the front runner for the MVP because he played, phenomenal. So, but I think for me, Russell Wilson now has targets. DJ Metcalf could be the best receiver in the game in the next 3 to 4 years. Like he's got that type of upside. He's physical, good hands, rack up some yards.
Tyler Lockett's very underrated.
Tyler Lockett is very underrated. Carson, underrated running back as well. Carson's pretty good. And you also have Greg Olsen. Greg Olsen, even though older, he's still good little target. So yeah. If I had to put a score on it, Seattle's probably going to drop 30 on the Cowboys.
Our defense isn't good.
Yeah.
Our linebackers are out.
Yeah.
Our secondary is not great.
Horrible.
It's just our D line is the only thing that's remotely good.
And our offense still does the same thing about having stalled drives. And then you already know McCarthy's probably going to go for a fake punt and it's going to fail.
I mean,
it's going to work one day. It's going to work one day.
It will. But to be fair, we're also missing 2 all-pro tackles.
Fair.
Collins and Tyron.
Right. So
a little tough.
I would put the Seahawks to probably win this one 33-17.
I just can't have a score where the Cowboys aren't winning. So I'm gonna say
you're emotional.
I think I'm not emotional. I just don't want to see, because I have friends that are Seahawks fans. I can't see them being happy with the result that comes of Sunday. So I'm
almost a Seahawks fan.
I'm gonna say 34-33 Cowboys.
Ooh, nice.
Wow. 2 1-point victories, Greg.
Yeah.
This is hurtful. This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts the Cowboys. They're going down. It's gonna be. I think Seahawks are gonna run in, control the clock more. I think.
Traitor. How could you both?
That's it. Cowboys 34, Seahawks 21. Let's go. C-Mac, I'm back on.
Oh my gosh. If the Cowboys
you thought I was gonna betray us. You thought.
If the Cowboys win this game,
Super Bowl.
I'm not gonna say Super Bowl, but they will have the eye of the rest of the league. That's for sure.
It's either Super Bowl or tank for Trevor Lawrence. We're either doing either one, baby.
I'll take that.
That's where I'm at right now.
Fair. Another key matchup coming on this weekend. We have the Green Bay Packers going up against the New Orleans Saints. Green Bay 2-0, dropped 40 on 2 division rivals. This is probably their biggest test so far. Aaron Jones is going to kill it. Devontae Adams is going to kill it. Aaron Rodgers is going to kill it. Their defense isn't too bad.
Adams is out, right? I thought Adams was out.
Oh, that's right. He is. I believe he is out. So, having said,
both number ones are out.
Right. Yeah, Michael Thomas is out for the Saints.
Yeah, it's like, all right.
They need him. So, that's tough. I'd probably go with the Packers because of Aaron Rodgers. to pull this one off. 27-24. Late field goal. Late
There you
field.
go. I feel it.
Greg, C-Mac.
Go ahead, C-Mac. I'm still thinking.
No comment.
Ooh, just let's go.
New Orleans is favored by 3 to win this, by the way, too.
Yeah, that's what I want to say. I like the 24-21 prediction. I don't even know if that's score. Yeah. 24-21 Saints.
Okay. Michael Thomas might actually play. He's not even on the injury report. I don't see.
I thought I saw he was out. Maybe he's play.
He may end
They
up
need
playing.
him.
Yeah, definitely. If he comes back and plays.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's still out. Okay, never mind. I see it here. Yeah, he's still out. So yeah, that's how I think it's gonna go. Still no comments. See that?
Saints. I'll say the Saints aren't going to win.
They got
Drew
that voodoo
Brees.
around them.
Huh?
They got that voodoo running around them.
I don't know, man. I just don't think the Saints are going to be able to pull it off. I don't think this is going to be a great year for them. Just don't feel it, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my prediction back now. I think you sold me. After I thought about it, I was like, wow, yeah, you're right. I think it's gonna be like 17-14 Green Bay. I don't think it's gonna be that many points.
Okay, so he's throwing 10. He's throwing it 10 points below what I have. Go
Yeah.
ahead. Give me
What were you saying?
Give me that prediction, C-Mac. Come on.
Saints losing 24-17. No, 24-10. 24-10.
Oh, wow. Okay. And the final big matchup was that Monday Night Football game. Ravens against the Chiefs. Man.
Here we go.
Versus Jackson. The Ravens, I'm having come out of this game. Why? Defense. Their defense is stout. They have a great defense. They're going to control the clock where Jackson will run through the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense is still a little suspect. And the fact that Mahomes something's just off this year, man. And going against a defense like that, I don't think that they're going to be able to pull that off against the Ravens. So to all my Chiefs fans, sorry. Ravens are going to come away with this one. Ooh, man. I'm going to have the Ravens put up 35-24.
I can feel it.
And this will be Lamar Jackson putting himself right there with Russell Wilson on that MVP front runner. Go ahead, C-Mac.
Man, I'm tired of seeing QBs win the MVP. I want to see somebody else win the MVP. I have the Chiefs winning it 30-20. 30-17.
Wow.
Ooh. Two polar opposites.
Right. I think there's too much Ingram too on the as far as the running back. Go ahead, Greg.
I gotta break it, huh? Oh, here we go. This is for my boy Brandarius. Ravens 31, Chiefs 21.
BD Brandarius.
Shout out my boy, big Ravens fan.
Yeah, absolutely he is. He is. So we will see.
If they lose, I'm coming for you, Brandarius.
Absolutely, we will see. So that was NFL. Quick note. Right now we have WNBA playoffs going on. Excuse me. We have some good series going on right now. The Sun are playing the excuse me. Sun are playing the Storm. No, excuse me. Lynx are playing the Storm. Sun are playing the Aces. Aces being the top seed, but the Sun right now have that 2-1 lead. They're what the Sun were, I believe they were the 7th seed or the 6th seed. So they're really, really benefiting. And it's weird how the WNBA playoffs go. So the top 2 seeds get that double bye. 3 and 4 get a first round bye, and then 5 plays 8, 6 plays 7. So it's kind of weird how that goes. And it's not really a conference type thing. They just take the top seeds overall.
Yeah.
So,
Shout out to the WNBA.
yeah, shout out to the WNBA. Really, speaking out as well, which we'll touch a little bit later. It says Suns are up 2-1 on the Aces. I think this is the best 3 out of 5, and the Lynx and the Storm are tied at 1 apiece. We have some hockey news. The Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning are playing. Lightning are up 2-1 right now. They're in overtime, game tied 4-4, the Stanley Cup Finals. And in some soccer news, Luis Suarez has left Barcelona to go to Atletico Madrid. There is some real unrest going on in Barcelona right now, man. It is really crazy. Messi is not happy. Messi is not happy at all. He didn't even hold back. And to quote, he said, for Luis Suarez, "You deserve to depart like what you are, one of the most important players in the club's history. None of them, or not for them to kick you out like they have done. But the truth is, nothing surprises me anymore." Messi really hates Barcelona right now. He's really hating life. He's got to, go for that contractual obligation, and then he's out of there. So not a good time to be a Barcelona fan, man. It's really
Prayers up from Messi.
bad. But we're gonna take one more quick break and be right back after this message. And we are back. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties with Greg, so we have to say goodbye to him. But as always, he will be back. My man, Greg. So, still got C-Mac here.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
So you already know it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. So, wanted to talk a little bit about the college football. So, Pac-12 is going to start up this weekend, or is this next weekend, and they're going to play a 7-game season in conference. SEC is going to start up this weekend. We've already had the Big 12 going on. Big 10 will start up this weekend. So now we have the 5 major conferences. Mountain West may come back as well. C-Mac, I'm going to ask you, does the Pac-12 now coming back, making that Power 5 conference, those Power 5 conferences coming back, does that legitimize the college football playoffs for this year?
I don't see why it wouldn't, and every other college conference and teams that are saying that they shouldn't compete because of COVID-19
Right.
Doubts, or not even doubts, worries.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the students already there. Like, give them something to do, man. Like, if you keep all the athletes together and keep them safe in their own bubble, in their own dorm room, like most of the schools that have these teams have enough resources to keep them safe. So I would say go ahead and start doing it, and playoff is legitimized. Let's see the talents.
Right. So with the college football playoffs, they could actually do that in a bubble style.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be those 4 teams and have it tested. Now, as far as the other bowl games, I mean, we've seen some schools have fans already.
Get rid
right.
Get rid of the unnecessary bowl games. We're going to do a playoffs. Like, I'm not a fan because, you have these bowl games, right? And then you also had previously you had NCAA tournaments or NCAA championships, like a D1 championship, D2 championship that nobody ever talked about that were still happening. So I'm saying, you force all of them to go into that one pool.
Fair. Are you talking about like the smaller schools that the D1 championship, like the North Dakota States?
Yeah,
Or
I don't see why not, because you're all in the same pool like they do for basketball and every other sport.
right. It is weird how they do that. Not to cut you off. They have like the college football playoffs, and then they have like North Dakota State and some of the smaller schools that aren't competing with those bigger schools. And I agree with you. I think they should.
They should be able to compete with them. They're D1, same level,
Yeah.
NCAA, follow the same rules and regulations.
Yeah, because I mean they do it for college basketball.
Yeah.
For March Madness. So yeah,
I think that would add that element of Cinderella story to college
Yeah.
football, and they would get some of these powerhouse teams coming at their neck.
Yeah, I agree. And one game, and that's where you could possibly make a case for a kind of like a March Madness, like that.
Yes.
64. I agree. Give them some opportunities. So to see. So we'll see. For me, I don't know. College football is kind of, I guess it legitimizes, and as you have the Power 5 conferences in there. I mean, it was kind of a wash for me this year. Anyway, and no disrespect, but you got Louisiana right now ranked number 19. They're at 2-0. Okay. I don't know if they're going to be ranked if, the Pac-12 teams and the Big Ten teams are already playing, right? Because sometimes you have upsets. Sometimes you have teams that play better than others. Plus they get so many, points and whatnot that the smaller schools don't get. So I don't know about that one. Army's another one. Army hasn't been ranked in, Lord have mercy, a long time. They're number 22 now. But more than likely, they're probably not against some of those bigger schools. It's a weird season. So I don't know. I got to see how the games are going to go to say whether it legitimizes it or not.
Yeah.
So, but I want to leave that there. Celtics and Heat in competition right now. Game 5. Celtics are up 117-100 with about 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Looking like they're probably going to win this game. For your high scores on each side, you have Jason Tatum with 31 for the Celtics, Jaylen Brown with 26, Smart 12, Walker 15, Tice 15. So they're all contributed. At the same time, you did have the starters from the Heat in double figures as well. Dragic 23, Robinson 20, Crowder 14, Butler 17, Adebayo 11. But the Celtics just outplayed the Heat tonight, and that really took a turn in that third quarter.
The unsung heroes of the Heat, Hero and Duncan, how are they looking right now?
Hero only has 9 points. Robinson has 20, so Robinson's playing good, even though he is 3 of 10 from the 3-point line, but he does have 20. Hero 9 points, 1 of 3 from the 3-point line, 4 of 9 overall. Only played 26 minutes, so he didn't have as great a game as he did last.
A little bit of difference. I think last game he had over 20, 25, 37. So that's definitely making up the point differential right now. But look forward to next game.
Yeah, definitely will be a game 6. All I can say is the Heat definitely don't want to be getting Denver nuggeted.
We're gonna have to start coining that term now.
Yeah.
Oh man, you got nuggeted.
You got nuggeted. Hashtag you got nuggeted. Oh my goodness. Wow.
7-piece nuggets. I'll stop.
That's funny. Oh, I do also want to give a shout out to Jamal Murray. That layup was Jordan-esque for the Nuggets the other night against the Lakers. Oh my goodness. C-Mac, have you seen as good a layup as that, man?
The last layup I saw that was that good was from Jamal Murray in the playoffs where he did the 361. But I mean,
the 360.
John Wall does that. It's
True.
a John Wall move. But that was the last good layup I've ever seen.
Like that. Oh my goodness.
And I'll give a shout out to WNBA. They do. I think Diana Taurasi had a 360 layup a couple years ago too. So give a shout out to that one.
Yes, she did. Absolutely. Um, in other news, bringing it down, Paul Millsap is turning his training facility in Atlanta into a 2020 general election early voting center from October the 12th through the 30th. First of all, that is huge. That's great. That's really really great. Um, Not to turn this into a political show, but that's young people. Everybody go out and vote. That's all I will say. Go out and vote. But I do want to get into this particular subject. So obviously the NBA players, WNBA players, the sports leagues have really taken to social injustices and trying to get justice for you know some of these people that have been killed. For African Americans that have been killed. The verdict that came about from the Breonna Taylor trial was bad. It was bad. They charged one officer for not even killing her, but for endangering the people in the next apartment. They didn't really bring any evidence to help her case out. So that's just it's wrong. The players were hurting. LeBron tweeted out, he's sorry. He felt like he failed. You know what I mean? And it's just so hard seeing that on a daily basis where it's just like we can't, as African Americans, we can't have just equality. The law is supposed to protect us. It's not supposed to go against us. Like I wasn't surprised at the outcome, but I don't know. See, like it just leaves the question of where do we go from here? Your thoughts on that, man?
Um, so I would say that um, the the biggest expectation or the thought of expectations for any outcome leaves an area of failure or um, how you mentioned earlier that LeBron James felt like he failed. Um, and I would say our ancestors as African Americans have worked through and put a lot of effort into becoming or trying to have this perfect sense of their history and everything that they've done. They had to waver on this thin line of being perfect and not giving ourselves any sort of doubt. And I think we are coming to a part where like we have to approach that area even more now because there's all eyes on us everywhere, and we just have to continue to be those perfect individuals because you know some people don't play by the rules, some people will play by the rules. There's these two polar opposites, and then you have a large population that resides in the middle. They'll play by the rules sometimes and sometimes they won't. So you have to live your life to the fullest, and you can't expect others to play by the rules.
Yeah, and it's just bogus that as African Americans held to a higher, held like you said to be perfect, and it's just like one mistake and you know pretty much you're a bad person, and that's not how it should be. But to that, just having an opportunity to just have fairness, you know, that's just the word fairness. There's not fairness. Um,
Yeah, I don't want to be cynical or tell anybody to not play by the rules, but I'm saying if you want to have the life that you want to live, where it's beautiful and happy, and you have family and everything like that, there are going to be people that are willing to go below you and knock at your knees and bring you down
yeah,
to their level because they're not.
they're not happy where they are in their own life and they see you having success. So you have to ignore that and you have to keep moving forward. And that's something that our ancestors have fought for, especially during the civil rights movement. We had a lot of people that were very successful that we don't talk about because of that fact.
Right. I agree. But in this modern day time right now, 2020 has always been a crazy year. We have to continue to keep fighting so that these verdicts, Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin, that this doesn't continue to happen, that justice is met for, the other George Floyd's, the Tamir Rice, Jacob Blake. We got to continue to push forward and continue to fight and to, go out and vote so we can, start to get some change, the change that we want to see, some police reform, start rewriting the law books, because that's what's really keeping, stuff the way it is, because it was never supposed to be inclusive. So positive, the way I take this out, a change is going to come. A change is going to come. We just have to continue to keep pounding away and continue to fight a good fight, and like I said, continue to push for a change. So and it'll come, But that's the show. We definitely had another great one, C-Mac. We thank y'all for always listening. Those that are listening to us. Please, check us out on Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Spotify, and Anchor.fm at Stats VS period Facts Sports Talk. Again, Stats VS period Facts Sports Talk. You ain't got that VS? You probably doing what?
Listening to some BS.
That's right. And also follow our YouTube channel underneath the same name. Follow us on IG and Twitter under SVF Sports Talk. Again, SVF Sports Talk, man. And hey, C-Mac, I appreciate you as always, brother. We thank Greg again for being here, Daniel for being here as well. For them all, this is your boy Marsh, and we'll catch y'all next time on that Stats versus Facts. Hey, Stats versus Facts. Hey, know where we at on the Stats versus Facts. Yeah, my boy hella black, he on the Stats versus Facts, and you might get smacked by the Stats versus Facts. Hey.